Okay, why don't we spin the wheel again and see where it lands as we play Tony Bellew Roulette.
Red 25, Tyson Fury.
This is getting better as we go along.
Oh, yeah.
I'm happy to see him back.
It's completely random, you know.
I bet you it is. I'm happy to see him back. It's good for boxing. It's great for heavyweight boxing. You know, the last thing I want to say, I've known Tyson Fury a long time. I was around him a couple of times on the amateur setup. A lovely guy who's very misunderstood. He really is. I know his uncle. I know his father. I've got an awful lot of respect for them. And I'm happy to see him back. You know, he just...
Is the big problem here that amazing athleticism and fluidity that he had for a huge man can rust off? It's 2.5 years since he'd done it. I know he's had a comeback fight, but essentially that was a training session.
Yeah, it wasn't even that.
Can he get back the fluidity that he once had?
It's very tough. I hope he can, but you can't come away from boxing. It is a very unforgiving sport, and it's a very tough sport. It's not one you can mess about with and go and flirt in and out of it. You know, he came away from the sport for the best part of 3 years, and let's be totally honest, he destroyed his own body. No one forced him to do it. No one done that. He had a few problems and issues, and it's very, very hard to do the damage you've done to your body and put the substances in your body that you've done, which he's been very open about, and then hope for your body then to back you up at the time of need. So I hope he can. I really, really do, because it's great for British boxing, and I'm happy to see him back. You know, he's got a family to provide for, and like I said before, he is a good guy deep down, and I want to see him do well. But I'll be honest, mate, it's a big ask to ask him to get anywhere near back to the man who he was in Dusseldorf.
I hope I'm proven wrong as well, because he was a very special kind of boxer.
He is.
And then that gap comes. It's
just inactivity is the plague in boxing.
He wasn't just inactive though. He was very active. He was reversing all the good work.
He really wasn't, and it's very, very hard to get back. It really, really is. But I wish him well, and you know, what he's got to do now is he's had the I wouldn't even say a warm. He's had the exhibition. That's out the window, and now we need to. There's enough talking, singing on social media, saying you can do this, saying you'll go there and do that. Well, let's just see it.
Would you fight him? Could you beat him?
Yes, I would fight him. I just don't think he wants to fight me. And without doubt, I will beat him. If it's him. If I fight him next, then I would say I've got 2 fights left in me. If I choose to fight Alexander Usyk next, which is the one I want, then that's my last fight, because I understand what I'm going to have to go through to defeat him.
We'll talk some more about what your future holds for you and Alexander Usyk. Time to go back to boxing. The big question on everyone's lips is whether you, Tony Bellew, will get back into the ring and fight this man next.
I don't want to close my eyes. I don't want to fall asleep, 'cause I love you, babe. And I don't want to miss a thing. I love you, my wife.
Well, that, of course, was Tyson Fury, and what a great thing it is to have him back in British boxing, in world boxing indeed. Let's talk to his promoter now, big Arsenal fan, of course, as well. Frank Warren. Good morning, Frank.
Good morning.
Thank you very much indeed for joining myself and Tony Bellew, who's here as well. We've seen Tyson have, well, let's call it a return bout, a warm-up bout, whatever you like to call it. What next for the big man now, Frank? What does he have? What's the next size of the step he has to take?
Well, his next fight's on the 18th of August. He's fighting on the undercard of Carl Frampton's world title fight, and also Paddy Barnes' world title fight in Belfast in Ireland.
Do we know who the opponent is?
Yeah, he's fighting a guy called Pianetta. He's a big guy. He's about 6'5". I think off the top of my head, his record is about 30-4, something like that. So it'd be a good opponent for him for his second fight back after nearly 3 years out of the ring, and get himself back into fighting mode. At the moment, he's been training hard to lose weight, and it's been, as you know, he piled on a tremendous amount of weight. He lost over 8 stone for his first fight back. He's got a couple more to shift, and then he'll be, I think, in a real situation where he'll be challenging or involved in a big fight.
And at the weekend, we saw the likes of Dillian White and Derek Chisora both come through very, very tough fights to win. Is that the kind of level you'll be looking at? Assume he comes through the fight in Belfast okay?
Well, actually, there were two very competitive and 2 good fights, as you quite rightly say. But without due respect to them, we're actually looking to try and make the fight with Wilder.
Wow. That's taking my breath away, because he's going from one level to Deontay Wilder, arguably one of the two most dangerous men on the planet. You clearly believe, therefore, that he could beat Deontay Wilder.
Well, first of all, I want to see what he looks like on the 18th, and hopefully he'll come through that well. But the reports from the gym that he's looking well. And Tyson, as he said himself, he's been talking about Wilder in the last few weeks, and it's a fight. I think the British fans would like to see. I mean, it wouldn't happen in the autumn. If it happens, it'd be sometime in November, December. But that's where I would like to see, provided he comes through okay. And again, no disrespect to everybody. He's the lineal champion. He's the guy who's never been beaten. He lost his belts outside the ring.
Deontay Wilder has proved quite a slippery person to negotiate with. If you look at the Anthony Joshua situation, are you confident you could make that fight happen?
I'm pretty confident we can make it happen. I mean, funny, what you're saying is what they're saying about Anthony Joshua camp. So it takes two to make a deal. If you really want to make a deal, you'll make it happen. All I know is that Anthony Joshua turned down a guarantee of $80 million. That was $50 million for a purse and $30 million guaranteed for a rematch. And that wasn't the purses, that was the guarantees. If it did the business that everybody thought it was going to do, I anticipated it would do, it could be much more than that.
It's all well and good saying a guarantee, Frank, but there's no contract and there's nothing to sign.
There was a contract sent. I've seen it. I know exactly what went down. So
how can you see it if you're not the promoter of him? How is that even possible?
Because I work with Shelley Finkel, who's the manager of Deontay Wilder. That's why we're having negotiations and talking about that.
He shouldn't be showing you personal contacts and information, especially a contract that a fighter who's supposed to be the top of the bill, a heavyweight, hasn't seen.
Whether he should or he shouldn't, you just asked the question. I've just told you what was in it. So,
and I'm just telling you that didn't happen.
So you're telling me because you obviously have seen it, whereas you haven't seen it, whereas I do know it for a fact.
I also know for a fact that if a contract was sent with $50 million, he'd have took it.
Well, there was 100% it was sent from the offer, and along with the guarantees, along with Showtime guaranteeing as well, Showtime, the US broadcaster.
And frankly, the tone of yourself and Tony Bellew's conversation, albeit briefly there, suggests to me that Tony Bellew is not in your plans to fight Tyson Fury.
Well, listen, anything can happen in boxing. You never know. I mean, I've just told you what I'd like to happen, and I've told you where we'd like to be, and it all depends when it's on the 18th. Who knows? I mean, Tony and Tyson is a big fight. Tony came off with 2 wins against David Hay, and he's put himself into a good position. So there's that. Tony's got a lot of options.
And he would also like to fight Tyson Fury, wouldn't you?
It's a possibility. It's a possibility. He's the guy who said absolutely not. So he said that Tony Bellew does nothing for him, but Safari does do something for him. So I don't know. He said no to me. I was the guy that said yes, but. Whatever it is, it doesn't really bother. I'm a person with an awful lot of options, and I seem to be a big draw these days, and I do a lot of numbers, so we'll see.
Okay, listen, thank you very much for that, Frank. What about the new season in the football? Arsenal have done the last thing that I, a Tottenham fan, want. They've gone out and bought some decent defenders.
Well, that's certainly what was needed. We will see what happens. We've got this new manager. I don't know, how he's settling down and whatever, but we've all got a lot of anticipation and hope and belief that we can have a better season. Arsene Wenger done very well, but obviously he sort of run his course a little bit longer than he should have done, and it was time for a change. We will see now what will happen. My only concern was the amount of money they were talking about was available for the transfer budget. When he signed, they said they've got around 50 million, and that doesn't. In this day and age, just about buys a decent player. Yeah. So that was my only concern.
Listen, great to talk to you. Thank you very much indeed. Frank Warren there, saying that provided Tyson Fury comes through his next fight in Belfast, it's likely they will look to fight Deontay Wilder. What's your immediate reaction to that?
Immediate reaction to that is not a chance. Absolutely not. You cannot go from Pianetta to Deontay Wilder. It's not possible. You can't do that. And Frank is long enough in the tooth and knows the game well enough to know that's not going to happen. It can't happen because it would end in disastrous effect.
Why would you be saying it then?
Because he's a promoter. And that's what he does. He promotes his fighters, and he tells you things that he talks like it's an ideal world. It's not an ideal world. It's not ideal that Tyson's had to lose 8 stone in weight. So it's one thing saying it, it's another thing doing it. And like I say, Frank's just doing his job for his fighter the best he possibly can. And listen, he hasn't been dealt an easy hand here with Tyson, because Tyson wants X amount of fights to come back. I know how many comeback fights Tyson wanted, and let me tell you, if he's wary of fighting me, then believe you me, he's not going to want any part of genuine big heavyweights. The likes of Dylan could end up being a nightmare for Tyson Fury. In my opinion, the first decent heavyweight he comes across, he's going to lose. I just think he's done too much to his body. And let me tell you this now, I hope I'm wrong, because Tyson Fury being in British boxing
amazing addition.
is big for the game. It's great for the business. It's just good for the whole brand of British boxing. Because British boxing now, make no mistake, is the home of boxing. Frank's saying there that Anthony Joshua's been offered £50 million on a contract. Well, why didn't, if there's a £50 million contract, why not just put the contract out for the media to see? Why only show it to Frank Warren? Why not just say, if Deontay Wilder's team are for real, just say, right, I'll tell you what, we'll show you the contract. Because if I was in their position, let me tell you, I could make the fight, not a problem, because I would just go public with everything. I'd go public with the contract. It's all well and good saying we've offered him 50 million. Is 50 million in a bag? Mate, this isn't the street. 50 million doesn't fit in no bag. 50 million probably weighs about a ton.
And listening to the tone of the two of you talking to each other, if you decide you and Frank want to go out for a drink, remember not to invite me for that evening.
That's never happening.
He's Jose Mourinho, the bookie's favourite to be the next Premier League manager to leave his post. We'll ask Coral next, as you're listening to the Alan Brazil Sports Breakfast with me, Danny Kelly, Tony Bellew and Dollar Shave Club.
Hi guys, just a quick one. I can confirm that me and Deontay Wilder are in negotiations, very close to being done. Frank told you all on talkSPORT this morning, the breakfast show, whatever it was, I'm not too sure, but it is out there now, and I can reveal that negotiations are being very strong for December. We're almost done with this deal, but I won't be looking over Francesco Pianetta. He's going to give me the right fight and the right work to prepare me for Deontay Wilder. I've got to flatten him first, and then Wilder, let's dance. You've been dealing with shithouses in the past, with Eddie Hearn and Joshua, but I am a man of my word, and if I say I'll fight you. End of. Prepare well, train hard, let's get the deal done. I'm going to knock Francesco Pianetta into next week, so I'm going to knock you Spark out too. Good luck.
Who gonna run this town and